Hello, everybody. I'm Toby Schifsky. I'm the Vice President of Real Estate Education for Dearborn. And today we are doing our Dearborn March 2025 webinar. We have a special guest with us today. I'm going to introduce him in a second. Our session is How Can Your Business Benefit from AI? The 4 things your school should do with AI right now. And working with Chris, we came up with kind of a format that's going to be able to take you from simple to a little more difficult, depending on what you want to do. And Chris has identified what he thinks are the 4 things you could do almost immediately in your business. Without further ado, Chris, thank you for being here.
Well, hello.
Hi, well, everybody. Hello. All right. And then let me go ahead and everybody, I'm going to introduce Chris to you real quickly. So I've worked with Chris, I've worked with Chris for a long time, back in the 2000s up through 2014. Chris and I worked together at Kaplan. And if you don't know, before that, Chris worked at a little company called 3M, setting up their TV network, their inter-employee TV network that broadcast across the whole world. They're training and gathering options for all their people and employees across the world. He then came to Kaplan and to us, and actually Chris was instrumental in creating our first on-demand video courses, ran a studio, organized all the technology, production, everything for hundreds and hundreds of hours of licensing education and continuing education. He's gone on from there to work with Blue Cross Blue Shield, setting up their training education and when it comes to ethics and ethical training, which we know everybody can use. And then, Chris, during the pandemic, you did a super neat and interesting another tech project where you were taking and developing tours, 360-degree virtual tours with headsets, so that people, the elderly, who are kind of locked in these elderly assisted care facilities and homes, couldn't go anywhere during the pandemic. You were bringing, a world experience to people all over the world. And I want to say thank you for being here today. I know you're in your next endeavor, and you're almost always on the front side of technology. And I just got to say, I'm super excited today because today Chris is coming to us in his next iteration of who he is, and that is an AI strategist. And with Hewman.ai, Chris, thank you for being here.
Well, thanks so much, Toby. What a great introduction. And actually, as you talk through that, I could tell you I still have flashbacks of the 270 hours that we shot for Colorado licensing in the studio to kick things off as we're building licensing out across the country. So I appreciate that. So I got some slides.
Yeah. Let me do this, Chris. So just as we get started, so that you know who everybody who's here, I'm going to go ahead and ask everybody a poll question. If we could do this really quick, everybody, on your phones, if you're on your phone or on your computer screen, I'm going to put up a poll. And the poll question is, what is your primary role at your school? We're assuming most of you on here are already connected to a school, or you're going to be quickly connected to a school. And just so we can kind of gauge the conversation to know what your role is, I almost start every single webinar with this, Chris. So bear with us. Everybody else, please participate. Once again, your answers are anonymous. You can answer it and nobody's going to know what your answer was except us. And so go ahead and answer the poll question. It should be on your screen right now. And I will always share the poll question at the end. So are you an owner operator? Are you an administrator? Or are you an instructor? Or hey, I'm not currently even with the school. Go ahead and answer the questions really quick. And then I have one more follow-up poll question afterwards, right? So if you're on your phone, you may have to swipe to see the poll. So make sure you just take a look around to find the poll, but it should pop up on your screen. I'm going to finish it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then I'll share the results. Look at this. We got 43% are owner operators, and you can do more than one here. By the way, I should have said that. I think it says it in the title. But administrators, we got 57%, and instructors, we got 29%. And all right, so we got some people who are either owners, administrators, or instructors, and it's a pretty good cross section, mostly administrator and owners though. All right, let's do this. I am going to jump into the second poll, and this gets us to where we need to be for Chris. So everybody, once again, bear with us. Poll question number 2. What methods of delivery does your school, methods of delivery does your school currently employ? And this would be important for some of the information Chris is going to cover with us today. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to launch that poll. Everybody take a chance, take a look at it, and you can do, once again, multiple choices. You can do all that apply essentially here. So do you do in-person education? Do you do live online education? Do you do asynchronous online? Do you do home study education or hybrid? Do you do like a combo where one course has not only live component, be live online or in person, it also has an asynchronous or distance delivered component to it? Do you do, I'd love to know what your combination is. So, because like I said, we're going to go through some concepts and be good to know this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and I'm going to share the results. So look at this. We got 50% of the people. Can you guys see it? They come up. Yeah, 50% of the people are do in person. 67% are doing live online. 100% are doing asynchronous. Home study, we got 0, and hybrid, we got 33%. So we all of them are doing asynchronous at some point, and over half of them, 50 to 67%, are doing either live online or in person. Very good. All right. Thank you all for that. Let's go ahead. I am going to go ahead and Chris, why don't you take over driving, and let's start with the 4 most important things or easiest things that people can employ almost immediately in their business right now. And I know you're going to take us through a little bit of a journey. If you would get us up to speed to what you've learned over the last several years. Here's the other thing, everybody. AI is so new for a lot of people that the learning curve is pretty quick to start. It gets hard to become a super expert, but the learning curve is really pretty quick, and it's pretty simple. And I think Chris is going to help us kind of understand just how much work some of this stuff actually does, or really, I think even more importantly, how much work does this do for you to make you quicker, faster, stronger, smarter in your business? All right, Chris, go ahead.
Excellent. Well, thanks. I thought I would start off with some slides, and we'll talk about our these 4 strategies today. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. I'm glad to be here and sharing this stuff with you. I'm excited because I get excited about this stuff. So I'll talk about our agenda here. Here are the 4 strategies we're going to talk about today. We'll start off with AI-generated marketing content. Then we'll switch to chatbots for enrollment and support, saving time with AI. And then the big one for me is strategy and decision making, all towards thinking bigger in 2025. So we talked about my background in real estate, AI. Toby went over most of this. And these days I'm really wrapped into the AI world and talking to people on a pretty regular basis. So you can see my background there. But in the last couple of years, I really switched, and I've been helping organizations to integrate AI and learning so much as I talk to each group about what their pain points are, what it is they're struggling with, and where they're excited to kind of get going. Just been, people aren't sure where to go. At the same time, I'm a consultant for some large learning companies. I've worked with Coursera as an SME, and I do online AI workshops to help businesses to integrate all the stuff, this cool stuff that we're going to talk about here today. Now, I want to share what I'm hearing. I actually just spoke to somebody who owns a real estate school not long ago. We were chatting, and I said, what's the deal with AI with you? Because that's what I ask everybody right now. And I said, well, how are you doing? What are you, what's your take on AI and how are you using it? And he goes, it sounds great. I have to tell you, I signed up. I went to GPT. Now, you don't have to sign up to ChatGPT. You can go to that site and use it for free. But he bought the monthly membership for $20 a month. And he goes, and I've done nothing with it since. And so I said, well, okay, so I get it. But so what's holding you back, And he said, I'm gonna be honest with you, Chris, I'm a little wary. I'm just I'm not that comfortable. Now, I was thinking, what is it that he could possibly be wary about? What is it that's out there? Maybe that's in the back of our minds that maybe any of us might be thinking about as we're on the tracks here, right? So let's talk about it. Let's go head on into this and chat about this. We're on the tracks. We all saw this. Everybody knows the Terminator and the story and kind of where we're headed. But is that really how it's going? Let's talk about that just for a second. Where we are right now is called artificial narrow intelligence, which means we're working with spreadsheets on steroids. They're finding patterns, they're doing things for us, information and data wise. The next phase is called artificial general intelligence. And that is really where AI catches up to humans in all ways. All right. So right now, if there's any AI you're talking to, they don't have emotion, they don't have consciousness, they don't have any of the things that we have being human. When we get to general, that's the case. And then the third phase, the one we're looking at right now, is called artificial super intelligence. And that's the Terminator. Now, if that's going to happen, it's not going to happen for a while. MIT did a pretty deep research study recently on this, and they were pretty aggressive. They were trying to find the soonest that this could possibly happen. What they came up with is, well, okay, I was going to ask if everybody wants to try to guess at this, but I'll just throw it out because I know we don't have a lot of time. The year was 2060, 2060. So we have 35 years to figure out what we're doing here and make sure that we can kind of write the course and it doesn't end up the way we saw on the movie. The other part is jobs. And, a lot of people were worried about losing jobs. We've been through this before, haven't we? This isn't the first time we've gone through a large sort of revolution or evolution in what we're doing. Started with the printing press, right? You had scribes. They used to write all the news down, very artistic. Only about maybe 3, 4 people in town would get it. The rich people, the church, and then they'd post one in the town square. Well, then the printing press came out. Well, the scribes couldn't really do that as much anymore because now everybody could get news and that's better. And it created more jobs. Now, what happened to the scribes? This is kind of like water going downhill. It has to eventually, when it's blocked, go around in some way, shape, or form. And so people have to adjust. The next one was the Industrial Revolution. Another one which changed the world, changed our whole company, also created crazy amounts of jobs. But people did lose jobs. And that's kind of the way this works.
You know what, Chris? It was interesting.
Yeah.
So we're obviously with a big company. We're Dearborn here, but overall Kaplan overall. And my boss, she says, you know what? She worked at a very, very prestigious financial planning firm back in the day when Excel spreadsheets first came on the scene. I know I got a bunch of people here on this webinar who were probably around when those Excel spreadsheets first came out, and they remember when they came out. Well, so I was there, and I'm like, "What is this thing now?" And because before that, you were doing everything in longhand, and you were writing everything out. And the funny thing is, she said her firm took a very a positive approach to it and said, "Listen, the efficiencies that we're going to gain is not about eliminating positions and roles. The efficiencies are going to allow us to do our work faster, better, and have capacity for more, which in the end meant more money for just about everybody." And so she equates this whole AI move to a tool, much like Excel spreadsheets changed that whole financial and accounting industry to the point where it is now synonymous. People understand, Excel spreadsheets. They understand Google Sheets. They understand, numbers from the Apple products. They are just a part of our everyday life. And today, nobody loses a job because of the spreadsheet. You may not get a job because you don't have spreadsheet skills. And I think that's kind of what we're looking at here. Is you have a technology that is you're probably going to need to incorporate it, or like you said, the water's going to go around you and you're going to be stuck. And I don't think anybody wants to be there. So go ahead.
No, 100%. It's like you're reading my slides. AI is a tool for humans. It's a tool. It's not here to replace us. Some jobs will change, but this is here to amplify our abilities. And Toby, you almost said the perfect thing. AI may not take someone's job, but a person who knows AI may.
Yes.
This is the time. We got to jump in. Okay.
I'll give one last thing on it, and I know that most people on here are already sold on it, but I can tell you this: companies like our companies, just much like a publicly traded company, every year the execs get up and it's we must grow, you must grow, you must grow the business, grow the top. I'm like, do more with less, and you must cut expenses. The old trick, right? So grow and cut at the same time. And what I told the people I work with, the employees that I work with, is there has never been a better time to grow. And the only way I know companies grow is if the individuals working there grow, new skills, right? New expertise, new professionalism. So when you grow, your company can grow. Same thing here. We have a lot of people here who are running their own companies. This is an opportunity for you to grow quickly because there will be some of your competitors who won't do these things. They just won't. And they're like too hard, too much, too whatever. And I think what Chris is going to show you today is it's really not. It does take a little trial and error, but you're still the fastest computer on earth with your brain and understanding, and you will learn quickly. So, look at this. 2025 is the year of the AI integration. Give it to us.
Yeah, I mean, and you kind of said it. Now think of it this way: when you're thinking about your business goals, our goals are who we need to be as a company or a business to achieve those things. So if you have a board that says we need to increase our profits or our sales by say some crazy number, 30%, and you think, well, this is not possible. We're doing every single thing we can. Well, it's because of who you are right there. When you add AI, you become something different. And 2025 is the year of the integration. We're going to see huge increases. Think bigger. AI adds opportunities. We'll talk about it today, but have your notes out because you should get a bunch of ideas as we talk here. Now, before we go any further, we have to talk about the negatives, though. Are you going to say something, Toby?
No. I throw out the warning. We got to have the disclaimer. So
yeah, no, we got to listen. We're trying to be as direct about this as we can. There's great possibilities and wonderful technology here, but it's not flawless. It makes mistakes. They're called hallucinations. They even have a term for it. You have to check your data. It's sort of like, think about when the internet came along and none of us knew anything about it. And if all of us on this call right now knew then about the internet, what we know now, none of us would be on this call because we'd be on our yachts outside of our, on an ocean outside of our home in that country because we'd be in a different space, right? And so now this is your chance to jump in here early. Privacy is another side of things. It's just like the internet. You wouldn't put your personal information, personal pictures and things on the internet. You shouldn't anyway. Same thing here. Treat it exactly the same way. However, look at the company you're looking at, right? So if it's ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, look at their privacy policies. They have policies in place to talk about what they're supposed to do and what they're not going to do with your information. Now, behind the scenes, just me, the things I'm hearing, we're going to have some ethical dilemmas in this country with how the country is planning to use things. So get a head start on it. Don't share too much. And then, this isn't work-wise, but I put kids down because look, a lot of us have kids and I have a friend, his name's Mike. We were talking recently and we both work a lot with AI. And he said to me, he goes, I introduced my daughter to ChatGPT. I showed her to her and she's having a great time. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. What happened? And he goes, well, interesting. She was playing with it. I showed her everything. I left the room and then I hear her laughing. And I thought, well, one of her friends must have come over. He goes back in and she's still on with GPT about an hour later. GPT is an it, not a who. And that's something we need to get across to our kids to make sure they understand. This is confusing if you don't know what you're doing here. So just make sure, take a minute, talk to your kids if you haven't, just make sure you know what they're doing with this and you can explain it. So it's not confusing. All right. I've got we could do this as I think you got a poll on this, right, Toby?
Yeah, I can do a poll. So why don't you read it off? So how many have used, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, how many have used a GPT before, even once, just one time, like ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, any of them, just one time?
All right, so go ahead, everybody. I've just put the poll question up. You should have it on your screen. If you're on your phone, once again, just swipe into it. All your answers are anonymous. Throw it out there. Have you used ChatGPT or GPT-like, like you said, Copilot, Claude, Gemini? Man, they're coming. They're like cryptocurrency. They're coming fast, right? They had DeepSeek, all that kind of stuff. They're coming fast, which means they're going to be everywhere. And so I'm glad that you guys are on here today. All right, here we go. We're going to finish this poll pretty quick. 3, 2, 1, 0. Look at that. 100% of the
100%.
people who responded have said yes. 100%. I have used it. All right, cool. All right, so we're on our way. They are already looking for the next step, I would say, Chris. So this is probably perfect.
Yeah, and I'm gonna skip this next little poll question we had, Toby, just so we can keep
Yeah,
kind of going here.
right on.
Okay,
Well,
so I have to do a quick introduction to generative AI here. I'll do
yep.
this fast, but we have to talk about this to understand what we're doing today. And I'm trying to do this quickly because we don't have a lot of time for 4 strategies.
Go
So
ahead.
a GPT is a generative pre-trained transformer. This is large data sets with a lot of training where you do over and over and over and over again, trying to see if things work and fixing them until you're almost 100% accurate. Generative AI is behind all that, working with the large language models. The 4 that you see here, the 5 you see here are the common ones. If you have Google and use Gemini, or if you have Microsoft 365 with Copilot, use those because it's already integrated. If you don't, I actually recommend using the other 2. ChatGPT is a little bit built out better as a product, and Claude has the best overall outputs. So depending on how you want to go with those. And then, quickly, this is like texting a friend, right? So we saw a lot of people have tried it already. If those who didn't respond, you're in a box. We're going to show you this in a second. And you can just put anything in. I mean, you literally can just say, "Hey, listen, what temperature should I cook pizza at?" And it'll tell you quickly. But if you want to work more deeply, I have a structure for you to take notes on here. So this is a prompt structure, which they call prompt engineering, which Toby, by the way, when I first heard that, I thought it meant just prompt or engineering really fast. And it turns out it's not. So, but here are 4 parts that you can use when you're trying to work on something a little bit deeper. First, the context, right? So let's say, I've got 8 things in my refrigerator, and here's what they are. And the goal, I need to make dinner. The role is for the one I'm using this example maybe is not the best to use this for, but use a role as a play the part of a, and in this case, chef. And the output is, what do I want? Give me 10 recipes that I can make for dinner tonight. And so, bam, yeah, just like that, you're done. Now, when you finish, maybe you're not done. Maybe you look at it and you go, I don't have ginger. I didn't say that. And I don't have any time. So you iterate. This is very important. You put in some more information. Okay, I don't have those spices, but can you adjust with these spices? It'll give you the next one. Now you're closer to what you need. Keep doing that until you want to get to where you're at.
I look at this
Input.
iterate part,
Yeah.
Chris, like, because you do have to do that. You have to kind of groom the response. I look at it like this way, like the generative AI right now, these beautiful algorithms, these beautiful probability matrix and all this kind of stuff. I feel like it's like an 8-year-old with access to all information that's ever been printed or on the internet.
Yeah.
And you have to tell it, I kind of got it, but I need a little bit. And so, but it can go very fast as long as you know what you're looking for and you iterate, you adjust what you've asked for just a little bit. And Chris is going to show everybody how you do this really quick to get us up to speed for our next topics too. So
Yeah, and it's we need the human element here, by the way, too. This is a tool, and that's all it is. All right,
yeah,
so let's jump into the first one here, just to keep get it going here. And the first one, generating marketing content, and I'm just going to tell you a very quick story to bring this home. I
yeah,
was in West Palm Beach, Florida, in September for my reunion, and I was having dinner with a friend of mine, Denise, and we were having a great time. We'd all had a great weekend, and all of a sudden, her face, everything changed. She just goes, "Oh." And we said, "What's up?" And she goes, "Oh, nothing." She goes, "I forgot to put a Instagram post up for my store." So she has a lighting store in West Palm Beach. One of her clients is Tommy Hilfiger. And so uh, so she goes, she's fretting. And I said, "Well, hang on a second." So I just typed in real quick on GPT on my phone, social media posts. I said, "What's the name of the company?" We put that down. And I said, "What do you want? Give me a tone." And she goes, "Well, something kind of light and playful." So I put it in and I hit go. And I showed it to her, and she goes, "That's just what I need. That's amazing. Not only is it fast, but it's exactly the way I wanted to write that. And that's even probably better than what I would have written this time." this is what we're talking about. You're talking about something that can change what you're doing and in seconds can give you something that you need with a quality level that's engaging and just as good as most of the things that you're already putting out there. And so, Toby, I know you've seen this in action plenty of times, but the ROI is a big deal. So let's take a look. 39% revenue increase and 37% cost reduction just by using AI generated marketing. And about 50% of real estate owners, business owners, have observed some kind of cost reductions using AI and marketing. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I can tell everybody, from our experience, we work with a bunch of experts and professionals, people hired for marketing and marketing copy, people hired for, all those specific professional roles. And what I can tell you is it doesn't replace that person, but what it does is it can refine a product or even lift a marketing copy. Like you said, like sometimes you sit and agonize over how you're even going to approach a topic. It is the speed that gets you to the point, and the fact that it can actually even bring up concepts or principles that you hadn't actually thought about. But because it's a large language model, it looks out there and it sees the way everybody else speaks and says, yeah, anybody who talked about this kind of talked about this too. And it'll actually even like suggest it into the wording for marketing copy. And when everybody says marketing copy, they're like, oh my gosh, that's doing a big ad, it's doing a postcard. Sure, you can do that too, but like your friend said, I just needed Instagram, just a quick hitter, or even just a letter to your students is what I'm looking at. How are you going to write that letter that you sit and agonize for hours over? I would always suggest this: no matter what you get back from your generative AI source, make sure it sounds like it's coming from you, from what your principles are, and you will have to edit it. But the lift is what we're finding. That is where the remarkable amount of time savings comes in.
Quick question that I'm going to answer here from Sheila. She says, can you begin with goals and work backwards? So when you're using this structure, the reason why you start with context is because you're taking this tremendous amount of data and you're bringing it into a certain viewpoint. Starting with context is almost always best unless you're starting with a creative. If you're doing something creative, like you're creating a 10-episode Netflix series, that's the goal. Start with the goal. But in most other cases, context is best. All right, so let me do, I got to keep moving here because we got so much to cover. So here's a little, we're going to give a choice here and just use chat for this. We're going to do a social media post, but we're going to pick which one we do. Okay. So your choice is we can do a new series of CE courses for spring, a bold new angle on licensing education.
So you're going to demonstrate this. We're going to pick which one of these we want to do, and then you're going to drop it into a AI generative.
Yep, we're going to go to ChatGPT right now, and we're going to give it a shot. So so let's pick between A, B, and C. Which one do you guys want to do?
Yeah, throw it into chat, everybody. Do you want to do a new series of CE courses or spring? Give me some marketing ideas for my social media post, or a bold new angle on licensing education, or C, exam prep. Go ahead. Fastest one's in, get it. B. We got three for B. Ooh, 4. All right, we're going B.
It looks like it's B. Everybody wants B. Okay, so the bold new angle on licensing courses.
Yeah, you're going to share your screen with what you're typing in? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so everybody, this is free. ChatGPT. You can go to it. You just go to ChatGPT in your browser, and it'll pull up a screen that looks like this. And then there's this little area here where you say, oh, put in my question. So it makes sure everybody can read that first. So everybody can good look, right? So here's his, you're going to show what the prompt, this is kind of your prompting, right?
Yep. So the prompt is generate a bold, creative, and engaging Instagram post for real estate schools promoting their new continuing education. In this one, a bold new angle on licensing education. Include a catchy caption, 5 relevant hashtags, an image, and a call to action, all in one shot. So as I hit this, it's gathering all this. Now, one thing that's happening here is it's deciding if it wants to give me a quick image or if it's going to create an image. It decided to give me a quick image instead of create my image for me. And just to see it, I'm going to say create create image. But in the meantime, we can take a look. So it gave us some quick visuals we can use. And then here's our Unlock Your Future with our revolutionary real estate licensing program. Say goodbye to traditional methods and embrace a dynamic, hands-on approach designed for the modern realtor. Join us and transform your passion into a thriving career. You have the hashtags here. And then here's the image that it made, and it gave me the entire thing now. And, these images are, sometimes they're cool, sometimes they're not. Sometimes if you look, you'll see some of the text isn't correct. And so, these are okay, but, use them or not. And this one has more of the, all the little icons and everything to unlock your future in real estate type of thing. And so this is easy. You saw how fast that was. And all of a sudden you have what you need, right? What do you think, Toby?
Well, yeah. So here's the deal. That is something that you can respond to. The difference in having to lift that marketing copy as opposed to something you can react to and say, well, I wouldn't quite say that, but I would tweak this little part. I mean, you're at least 40% faster. Probably, I would say almost 60% faster is what I'm recognizing in the ability for it to conceptualize at least something where you can go, that's not quite it, or, ooh, this is on the line, I could expand this. You don't have to, you don't use it exactly, you still edit it, you still put your thing in. I kind of like that image. I thought that image was interesting, that it had the student sitting in a class. So if you're doing live education, I mean, there's some interesting pieces to that. And now, Chris, can people use that image in their marketing?
Yeah, no, you can use it and you can even edit it. This one has quite a bit going on, but you can iterate with these as well. You can even go in and select tools and kind of just get rid of this area because it doesn't look that good, or maybe something's not spelled right or whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
Super cool. Super cool. So marketing. So even little messages, even little emails that you're communicating to people, or a broadcast to your students about some sort of promotion you got coming out. You sit and agonize over it. Don't be afraid to think of, 2 or 3 bullets and drop it into ChatGPT and see what it comes up with. If anything, it's going to let you know what direction you want to go.
Okay, the next one then is AI strategy 2. This is about chatbots. And listen, if you're in your mind, you're thinking, yeah, I already know about chatbots. That's where I started when I wasn't sure if I should put this into our presentation today. But chatbots today are very different than what they would say your grandfather's chatbot, right? When they had them back then in the 30s. So, listen, it used to be chatbots were like an FAQ, right? They could answer about 5 questions, and you kind of didn't even want if they came up, you might even been annoyed by them at first, right? But here's the thing. We spend all this time and effort and money to get people to come to our site. And then when they get there, they're by themselves. Think of this as an extension of yourself on your website when customers pass through to engage with them. Okay, so just a quick poll. If we could just do whatever's the easiest here. Who's currently using a chatbot with their business? Just yes or no, or raise your hands, or whatever's
in the regular chat real quick. Yes, no, no, no,
okay,
no. We got no so far. You go ahead and throw it in there. So Barry, no, Carrie, no. Got it. Carrie, twice
okay.
no.
Getting an idea.
Yeah. So nobody says yes yet.
Well, and so it's a good thing that we're talking about this because this is an area that you want to be looking at, and I'll show you why. Thanks for the vote there. Here's just the quick, we generally know how this works, right? Except now this is using generative AI as a chatbot. It answers questions. It can guide students through the enrollment process, schedule calls, and this improves lead conversions. I mean, I'm going to show you some stats here in a second that's going to make the people who said no are definitely going to be, I would think you'll be interested.
Are you going to show us an example of a chatbot? Because I'm imagining this is just a plug and play service that you can purchase and drop in, correct?
It is. And so there's really not much of a demo to be done. We've all kind of seen them on sites before, but look at this in the very middle here, increase in sales, 67%. I mean, I don't want to say any more words after that. That is huge. And listen, chatbots are new today. They have human-like intelligence, okay, or interactions. And it's a much more higher level when you do satisfaction ratings, much higher level of satisfaction now when they first came out. You can speak different languages. They can go across your channels, drive engagement, and in the end, boost sales. And that's actually what we're at here. So yeah, I mean, this is This is a big one, Toby.
That multilingual integration, guys, is a super key component here too. I know that we just got our Spanish PP&L licensing course, 63-hour course approved in Florida, and Spanish language course. And so having that chatbot be able to take questions and answers. Now you do train it on your stuff. You do those kind of things. There's some work that needs to be done there, but essentially you can hire a chatbot service to just plug onto your website. And it can handle all those question things, and it's there all the time. It doesn't go to bed at night. It doesn't get sick in the morning and miss work. And so it keeps people connected and communicating with you. You can even use it to get people to, like Chris said, get to an appointment to talk to you if you wanted to, and set it up.
And they start at the cost of free, by the way. They're not very expensive. You can get them for free. And then if
say that again, you broke up a second. So you broke up a second. Say that again. It starts at the cost of
you can get a chatbot starting at free. They start for free. And then they move up at monthly rates. So not bad, not bad. All right, I'm going to go really quick here. The next big thing is agentic AI. If anybody saw the movie Her, that's what we're talking about. This is the next step. Not sure what that line is. I'm just going to let you read this, and then I'm going to introduce you to Alice and Mike because we just don't have as much time. I'm going to introduce you to one right now. This is Alice. Alice is not actually real. Alice is an AI. She is a sales development representative. She tracks data points of your market, identifies ideal buyers, engages decision makers 24/7 to book you meetings on autopilot. And if you don't want email work, you can hire Mike. Mike does phone work, automated inbound and outbound calls for your teams, handle conversations naturally in 28 languages, and integrate with your workflows operating 24/7. When these came out, they cost $8 an hour to start, and I imagine they're probably a little bit more now. But this is the next place. This is where we're going next, everybody. Everybody's going to have.
So if you are taking inbound calls and you need an office assistant because you get busy, I'm imagining you could toggle this on, you can toggle this off, and you pay by the hour. But like I said, it's an employee that's easy to fire if you don't like them. But it's $8 an hour or maybe a little bit more. And they are called agentic AI or agents, and they are set up to help you manage the inflow of customers and questions to your business
autonomously,
where they want to talk to somebody autonomously.
Yeah. Autonomously. Okay. Looking at the time here, so I'm just flying.
You're okay. You got a couple extra minutes here. So
okay.
We got everybody's engaged. I am super interested in this. So
strategy 3 is saving time with AI. And, in your business, you've got regulatory updates and content that need to mesh and marry. This keeps courses up to date. You can get student feedback and performance data and flag issues right on the spot. And how are we keeping up with things these days when we're as busy as we are? You can summarize real estate news just like that. You don't have to read the whole thing. I get these AI things that are these I don't even know what to call how long it is what these guys write, and there's just no way. I mean, sometimes I read a few of them, but my gosh, it took me almost an hour. So I can take all that and I can drop it in, summarize this for me, and now you do this with your work stuff and you stay up to speed much more quickly. It's the way to go.
So I'm looking at this and the saving time with AI. So I know that our company uses the Chrome package, the Google package for all of our stuff, Google Chrome, Chrome for the Gmail and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and there's Gemini built right in. And the Gemini is the generative AI for Google. And it can actually summarize those long emails. It actually can summarize when we do Google Hangouts like this on video, it can summarize everything that happened during the meeting so that you have a clear, succinct identification of what was talked about, what the to-dos are, and who's doing what. It does a tremendous job, and it can do it in just about any language you want. which is the other thing. No matter what the input language is, it can export it. The output can be in any language you want. So I just had one quick question. What do you mean by speed up feedback from students? So collect student feedback and performance data. So you're looking at like course reviews, or what are you thinking?
Right. So take all your course reviews and drop them into whichever one of your GPTs you use, Copilot, and then ask it anything, and it will be able to give you all sorts of patterns. It'll tell you everything that that you want to know much more quickly. You can use any kind of filter you want, and it'll just give you that information. So one big thing here is put a lot of information in and get a small amount of condensed information out. That's a lot better and a lot more with what you're trying to find out.
For those of you wholesale partners who have RE Campus, you have access to enrollment reports, completion reports, all these big reports with all this information in it. You would be shocked at how you can organize that information from your downloaded spreadsheet. You literally, right, load that in to your whatever your interface is, whatever it's ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever. They have functionality for you to ask questions, and you can ask just about any question. You can ask it to reorganize the information by student. You can look at length of time in course. You can do all of these organizational things that would shock you. If you haven't already done it, it would shock you how it can organize the information in a way that you can use it to be bigger, faster, smarter, stronger about your business. And you don't even have to know how to do spreadsheets. You just know how to prompt the AI to give you what you want. It's shocking. Okay.
Do we have time to do this?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this is a prompt that I'm going to show you, and this is a tactic that I use. I get a fair amount of emails from people where I talk to them and they want me to come talk up to their group about things, but it's always a little bit, what are we talking about? What level? So this is the prompt I'm going to use here. Write a professional but friendly reply to the summarized email addressing the key concerns and confirming next steps. And then I'm going to put my email in right after that. And I'm going to show you how I do the whole thing.
Okay. All right. So you're going to do a demonstration on how you use it with emails for fast, quick responses.
Exactly. So let me get out of this last one. We'll open a new one. All right. So here we go. And here's what it is. Here's the email that I got. Hi, Chris. Thanks for the follow-up. Here's what I'm thinking. Allocate about 10 to 15 minutes time on our agenda for our next business meeting. Happens on March 19th at 8 o'clock. Maybe go over basic information to whet the appetite, then see where it takes us. Let me know your feedback, John Connolly. So I put this down, and it just immediately writes a reply. Now, you might not use it for such a short one like this, maybe you use it for a little bit more complex, but check it out. Hi, John. Thanks for the note. That sounds like a great plan. I'm happy to allocate 10 to 15 minutes on the agenda to share some basic information, spark interest. I'll keep it concise and engaging to set the stage for a good discussion. I'll prepare accordingly and look forward to seeing where the conversation leads us. Let me know if there's anything specific you'd like me to focus on. Thanks again for the opportunity. See you on March 19th. Now, I may not use that exactly the way it came out. I might change things to make it me a little bit better, but that's pretty close, pretty quick.
Pretty quick. Fantastic.
All right, last one. Going fast here, folks, to try to get through these all. So the fourth strategy, and this one is the big one. This is the one that I really mostly want. If I could talk about this the entire time, that would have been my choice today, because this is the number one use case, using AI as a thought partner. So let me put a bunch of this stuff up here. Helping leaders make data-driven decisions. Strategic insights. Okay. This is where thinking big happens, everyone. Imagine you have every expert that there is sitting at a table with you that you can reference and talk to during a business meeting at any time. That's what we should be talking about here, beyond all the other things, because this is the sit down and grow your business in a way that you never have before situation, right? Now, Toby, I know that you're a smart guy and you've been using AI for quite a bit. Can you relate to this at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Once again, it's a way, even if it is a way to verify your assumptions and where we believe we should be going, like you said, using AI as a reference, fantastic. I mean,
So,
it's so much easier because the way you'd regularly do it is you would have Googled before something, right?
right.
Or ducked, and you would have done it, and then it would give you the resources to go and read the entire paper and find the relevant thing that was important to you, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It shortens all that time,
Right.
all that time.
All right, so we have an example here, and we've got a choice. And in chat, just put, would you rather use the budget allocation or the competitive analysis one here? We're going to either analyze a marketing budget of 5 grand, or we'll analyze the, I have so many windows open, I can't read all my stuff. The current real estate education market and suggest 3 competitive advantages. So either put budget or competitive in the chat, and then we'll pick which one.
Which one do you want Chris to do for you guys to give you a live demo of how you get the smartest people in the room? Competitive number one so far. Competitive 2, 3, 4 competitives. Look at that. I think we got a winner on the way. Anybody else? Anybody for budget, budget, budget? I'm kind of interested in the budget, but I think we got to go competitive. So
Well, Toby,
I
I'll do
think
this
he's
one
better
for you
budgeting.
after.
All right. All right. Go ahead with the competitive.
All right.
So clear out the old one. You literally just drop it right in, right? Analyze the current
Yep.
real estate education market, suggest 3 competitive advantages our school can focus on to differentiate. Oh, there you go. Bing. And what does it tell you? All right. What do all the people who come before say?
So flexible learning options,
Hmm?
comprehensive career support, and
Mhm.
advanced training and career progression. Now, let me tell you something. I've run all of these about 10 to 20 times, and every single time they're a little bit different. So this is an important part. Just because you're putting something in and it's a computer, it doesn't give you the same output every single time. So if I run this again, it may give me 3 different ideas than this. Back to iterating, right? So Toby, what do you think? How did we do on this for kind of searching out what are all real estate schools doing and what things are they not doing that might help us be a competitive advantage?
Yeah. I think it's spot on. Basically, there's a little bit of a playbook there on the Kaplan side of the business for sure. Yeah. I like all 3 of those. I could probably think of 2 other ones, but um, I mean,
Yeah, honestly, when I did it, the one before this, I liked better.
oh, really, really?
It had it had more things that were, I think, immediately relevant. But yeah, I mean, so you get the idea, right?
Oh yeah. So, but here's the deal, guys. Then you break it down and you take each one of those little pieces and you say, how am I going to differentiate this?
Right.
And you see what it says. And once again, it'll strike you and you go like, oh, that's wrong. Like I know that's wrong. Or you go like, oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. And so you start to refine what you think. Because like Chris says, it's like having a whole room of experts in the room with you and say, what did everybody else who came before say, essentially?
Well, not just that, but as I'm sitting here and I'm in my own business meeting. So I'll tell you, I created a board of directors for my company, Hewman.ai. And that's something we can all do. This is a group. I have Elon Musk. I've got a whole bunch of people who are entrepreneurial minds that I want to hear their thoughts on as I have new ideas in this AI space. Andrew Ng, who's an AI guru right now, a bunch of them. So I have about 9 people. And then I can then have thought conversations about my business with that, not those people, but with the understanding of what their principles already are. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, so you can create the imaginary people based on all the information collected about them before, and you can have basically a virtual conversation or strategy session with those people. Super interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you could do
Well,
like
they
the
are
art.
real people though. They're not imaginary.
Yeah. Well, can we do like yeah, who is it? Like the Art of War? Yeah, Sun Tzu, the
Yeah.
ancient philosopher. Like, okay. All right,
Yeah.
so Chris, I've got people asking, hey, are you going to put in your URL, business information, stuff like that? Oh, look at this.
Yes. Yes. So thanks for that. Here's my URL is human spelled HEW because that means to shape. And that's literally what I'm trying to do is to help us shape AI for human potential. Um, and I got a gift for you. I've got the 5 keys to prompting well right away. This is a Dearborn, this is specific to this group here. So I've got this 5 keys you can download. I also do free 30-minute conversations to check in or actual consulting. But the exciting thing for this group, and I'm just throwing it out here to see, gauge the interest. I do 4-hour workshops to help businesses integrate AI into all across their entire business. So they bring their goals, their strategic plan, marketing materials, customer insights, things like that. And we do all of this, a workshop on the spot. Now, we have an opportunity here. Now, you don't work as a group, okay? It's a small group and we work individually. But we could make this all about real estate. And we could do, if everybody is interested and signs up, I'll do one just on real estate. So the use cases will be sort of like we did today, aimed at exactly what you're doing. However, just know that we don't spill business secrets and secret sauces there. That stuff is individual between me and you. And then otherwise, the group asks questions like, what prompt should I use, or things like that. And so we're all just learning how to prompt together. That makes sense.
Super cool. All right, so there's a sign up. They can take a picture of that QR code, or I think Kate Wagner just dropped into the chat that QR code where it takes you to. You can click on that, everybody. We're wrapping up. I just want to say thank you, Chris, for being here, for kind of bringing some enlightenment. And I don't think it was scary. I think what you did was actually pretty interesting. And like I said, everybody, in 10 years, I gotta say it's gonna go faster. I gotta say in 5 years, you will be using AI every single day in your life, every day, or you're probably not in business. And that's just one of those things. The same way we use email, the same way we use text messaging, the same way we use Excel spreadsheets or Google Sheets, or if you're in business, you're probably going to be using this. And if you're not, then you're probably out of business, frankly. So that's the big scary message from me. And I can tell you that our organization has embraced all these efficiencies that Chris has talked about. And we're looking forward to the next level, the next step. Once again, you want to grow your business, you got to grow yourself. That's it. You got to grow your employees, you got to grow that in order to grow your business. And so here's a great opportunity to grow, because everybody's learning. Who's going to learn fastest? Who's going to be able to position the best? And it will make a difference in your business. So Chris, I want to say thank you again for being here. Everybody, I just want to say thank you again for being here. We'd like to hear from you. If you get an opportunity, you can give us a call or email salesops@dearborn.com. And once again, Chris, thank you for all your insight today. Thank you, everybody, for participating.